Imagine you are in a dark alley at midnight when suddenly a mugger jumps out holding a banana. Not a gun, not a knife, a banana. You are terrified for about half a second, but then your brain catches up and goes, "Wait, that is not a weapon, that is fruit." You walk away unharmed, but now you are forever suspicious of people holding bananas in the dark. Congratulations! You have just experienced the basic principle behind vaccines. They give your immune system a sneak preview of the bad guy, except the bad guy is disarmed, weakened, or completely fake, so you do not get hurt. But your body still remembers their face, so that if they ever show up for real, it will be ready to kick them out like a bouncer with a personal grudge. That is it. That is the science. Video over. Just kidding, buckle up, because now we are going deep into how your body turns into a microscopic Marvel superhero squad after getting vaccinated, and why this is one of the cleverest tricks humans have ever pulled off in the history of not dying. First, we need to talk about your immune system. If your body were a medieval kingdom, your immune system would be the army, police, intelligence agency, and gossip network all rolled into one. It is constantly patrolling, checking identification papers, and looking for troublemakers. Most of the time, it deals with tiny, random annoyances, like bacteria trying to move in without paying rent, or viruses gate-crashing your cell's parties. When it spots an intruder, it sends in white blood cells, which are basically the warriors of your body. Some are frontline soldiers that attack immediately, others are detectives that figure out what the enemy looks like, and some are archivists that store the mugshots for future reference. Now, here is the problem. If your immune system meets a truly dangerous enemy for the first time without warning, it can be caught off guard. Think of it like running into a bear in the woods when you have never even seen a picture of a bear before. The first encounter might be ugly because your body has to learn how to fight it in real time. Sometimes that learning curve is too slow and the bear wins. This is why humans invented vaccines. Instead of waiting for a deadly disease to attack and hoping your body figures it out before things go badly, vaccines introduce a safe version of the threat ahead of time. It is like sending your army to a training camp where the enemy is a cardboard cutout with a scary face painted on it. Your soldiers learn exactly where to punch and how to react, so when the real deal shows up, they go full action movie without hesitation. There are different ways to do this training. The classic method is the weakened live virus vaccine. Imagine taking the villain from a movie and giving him a comedy makeover so he trips over his own feet and forgets his evil plan. He is still recognizable, but he is too clumsy to hurt anyone. Your immune system sees him, says, "Aha, we know you," and sets up a defense plan. Then there are inactivated vaccines where the virus is completely dead, like a stuffed animal version of the villain. It cannot hurt you, but it still looks enough like the bad guy for your immune system to make a wanted poster. Next, there are subunit vaccines, which only use tiny pieces of the virus, like showing your soldiers just the mugshot instead of the whole criminal. Then we have the new high-tech celebrity in town, the mRNA vaccine. Instead of bringing in the enemy at all, mRNA vaccines give your cells the blueprints to build just one small, harmless part of the virus, usually a protein spike. Your immune system sees that spike and goes, "Whoa, that belongs to a bad guy. Let us remember that forever." It is like giving your army an artist's sketch of the criminal and saying, "If this guy shows up, take him down immediately." Here is where the training gets interesting. When your immune system meets this safe fake version, it calls in two key players, B cells and T cells. B cells are the weapons manufacturers. They make antibodies, which are like custom-designed arrows that stick to the virus and stop it from working. T cells are more like elite special forces. Some T cells go after infected cells and destroy them before the virus can spread. Others are memory T cells that store the how-to-win strategy for the future. After a vaccine, both your B cells and T cells keep their training notes for years, sometimes for life. This is why, even decades later, if that virus tries to sneak back into your body, It will find a welcome party made of pure hostility waiting for it. One of the coolest things about vaccines is how they create herd immunity. Imagine if everyone in your neighborhood trained in martial arts. Even if a dangerous intruder came by, there would be so many trained defenders around that the intruder would get stopped before they could cause trouble. This is herd immunity. The more people who are vaccinated, the fewer opportunities a virus has to spread. This protects not just the vaccinated people, but also those who cannot get vaccinated, like newborn babies or people with certain health conditions. It is like creating an invisible wall of bodyguards around the vulnerable members of the community. Of course, vaccines are not magic force fields. Sometimes you can still get sick, but the illness is usually much milder because your immune system already knows what to do. It is the difference between being ambushed in the dark and walking into a fight with night vision goggles and backup. Plus, your immune system gets faster at deploying its defenses. Instead of taking days to figure out the plan, it can launch a counterattack in hours. Now, let us clear up some common confusion. No, vaccines do not overload your immune system. Your immune system deals with countless microbes every single day just by existing on planet Earth. Vaccines are like a drop in the ocean compared to that constant background training. Also, vaccines do not give you the disease they protect against in the dangerous way because the version used is either too weak, too dead, or too partial to cause the actual illness. It is like showing a security guard a photo of a burglar instead of letting the burglar move in. And for those wondering why some vaccines require booster shots, here is the deal. Sometimes your immune system needs a refresher course. It is like going back to the shooting range to make sure your aim is still sharp. Boosters remind your immune cells that the threat is still out there, so they keep the defenses fresh. There is also an evolutionary genius to this whole idea. Viruses are basically tiny burglars that keep changing their disguises. Some, like measles, barely change at all, so one vaccination can protect you for decades. Others, like influenza, are fashionistas that change their outfits every season, which is why flu shots are updated yearly. And then there are situations like COVID-19, where the virus keeps remixing its own greatest hits, so the vaccine may need periodic updates to keep up. It is like fighting a villain who owns an unlimited costume shop. The impact of vaccines on human history is honestly mind-blowing. They have wiped out smallpox completely, a disease that killed hundreds of millions of people. Polio, which used to paralyze children worldwide, is now almost gone. Measles, tetanus, and countless other nasties have been pushed back into the shadows because of widespread vaccination. It is one of the most effective public health strategies ever invented, second only to maybe stop drinking water from that sewage ditch. If we were handing out Nobel Prizes for saving lives, vaccines would have a trophy cabinet so full it would need its own museum. And here is the part where your immune system truly deserves a round of applause. After the training from a vaccine, it does not just protect you passively. It actively scouts for danger, patrols your internal borders, and jumps into action the second it spots the enemy. It is like having a guard dog that has read every single mugshot in the criminal database and has a zero-tolerance policy for trespassers. The science behind that is a symphony of biology, chemistry, and molecular engineering. It is like nature's security system upgraded with human-made training modules. So the next time you hear about vaccines, think about them not as scary needles or political debates, but as the ultimate boot camp for your body's natural defenders. They are a rehearsal for the big show, a practice run for the worst-case scenario, and a way of turning your immune system into a seasoned veteran before it ever sees real combat. Whether it is the old-school approach of weakened viruses, the precision of subunit vaccines, or the futuristic elegance of mRNA, the goal is the same: to give your immune system the tools, the knowledge, and the confidence to say, "Not today, virus, not today." In the grand story of human survival, Vaccines are the secret training montage we rarely see but always benefit from. They are Rocky running up the steps, the Karate Kid practicing with Mr. Miyagi, the Avengers doing team drills before facing Thanos. They take the randomness out of your immune system's first encounter and replace it with a calculated, well-prepared strike. That is why they have saved millions, probably billions of lives, and why your immune system should be sending them thank you cards. So here is your takeaway. Vaccines work because they teach your body to recognize the enemy before the fight begins. They make you faster, stronger, and way less likely to get knocked down by something you cannot see. They protect communities by creating walls of immunity. They have changed history, extended life expectancy, and made many of the scariest diseases of the past into rare trivia questions. That is why understanding them is not just science, it is self-defense. And now, dear viewer, here is your mission. If you learned something today, share it. If you laughed even once, like this video. If you want to keep getting fast, funny, and genius-level explanations delivered at the speed of laughter, subscribe to XQ, Quick Funny Explanations, and join the Smartest Comedy Club on YouTube. Tell us in the comments your weirdest analogy for how vaccines work. Bonus points if it involves fruit or medieval castles. And remember, your immune system is already a hero. Vaccines just give it the best possible training montage. Stay curious, stay laughing, and stay protected.